Thanks, Krista, for that introduction. And hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. And I'm really glad that I'm here and able to share some of our work here at NASA Goddard, which we started several years ago, and now I think it's in operational mode. So let me share my slide, and I think I'll walk through some of the slide, which about 10-15 minutes, and then hopefully we can actually show you how to access the air quality forecasting data which we are running right now. So with that, hopefully everyone can see the slides. Okay, so my name is Pawan Gupta. I'm a senior scientist here at NASA Goddard. My colleague Junhyeon, he is also scientist here at NASA Goddard, worked with Morgan State University. And June has been working on this project for more than a years to develop the forecast, improve the forecast, and most importantly, making sure that it runs operationally. So in our team here at Goddard, we use a what we call.
Did you?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep, we're good now.
Okay. So we use a comprehensive approach for air pollution monitoring and forecasting, which means we use multiple sources of data, observation system, and modeling capabilities. And ground measurements are considered like ground truth are most important, most accurate measurements. So we have several NASA-owned networks which provide not directly air quality data, but relevant data for air pollution or air quality studies. So one of them is Aeronet. We use OpenAQ, although it's not a in terms of network, but it's a platform which compile the data from all over the world. And then we use some of the low cost sensors, Clarity, Purple Air. And of course, being at NASA, we have fleet of space-based satellites, which provides useful informations. And then finally, we have modeling system, which provides global forecast on atmospheric aerosols and gases. So we use all these combined capabilities to actually customize the forecast on a specific location. And I'm going to focus today only on PM 2.5, but there are other efforts which do the gases pollution forecast as well. So just to quickly introduce everyone, the main modeling system which we use for our air quality forecasting application and some of the reanalysis data, which I'll show you in a minute, we use this called GEOS. It's a Goddard Earth Observing System, which actually provide a modeling frameworks for many different forecasting. It does the weather forecasting, climate forecasting, and air pollution, air quality forecasting at least 5 to 10 days ahead of time. And it has been running operationally for many years. There are two versions of this model. One is what we call reanalysis, which is called MERA 2. So that reanalysis include the data assimilation from satellite, ground, ships, all kind of data, millions and millions of data points are assimilated to reanalysis the field of atmospheric conditions. It is available at half degree from 1982, so it's long records, almost 45 plus years of data records. And I'll show you, we have some PM 2.5 derived using that record. And then for forecasting purpose, we use, this is something called GEOS FP, which is FP means forward processing. It runs at quarter degree on a global scales and provides forecast every day for 5 to 10 days forecast. And we use this particular things. So for our purpose, we use meteorology and aerosols in our machine learning algorithm, which will I show you later. So first I want to introduce these data sets, which we kind of used MERA2, that long-term data records, combined with all the ground measurements using regulatory grade ground measurements available in OpenAQ platforms in a machine learning algorithm. And the idea here is that since the MERA2 is a global reanalysis, it does not include the ground measurements. It's rely a lot more on satellite data. So we want to get a bias corrected localized PM 2.5 data products all over the globe. So there's a lot of details in this particular works, and we just published a few papers on this, which I can send you later. But and which provides more technical details on how we actually derive this product. But these data sets are available on a global scales from NASA data centers. It can be downloaded as a netcdf file, but also available as visualization through NASA GeoMoni tools. So if you're not familiar, just Google it and you will be able to find the data sets. So it's a bias corrected Mera 2 products available on every single global locations from 2000 to current time. And this data are available at hourly time scales, daily and monthly. So it has a different temporal resolution. So the highest resolution is hourly data. So it's a very good tool for historical data analysis for any given location if you don't have any ground measurement. Another efforts which we are doing under Aeronet, and again June is helping with this effort, where we are trying to actually uh, we have this Aeronet networks all around the world with 600 plus sites, and they provides very high quality aerosol optical depth, which is a quantity which we also get from the satellite. So the fundamental purpose is to validate the satellite data, but now we are expanding this capability in air quality area. And to do that, to develop an air quality product from Aeronet, we need some co-located PM 2.5 measurements. So in this efforts, we are deploying some of the low-cost sensors, specifically clarity nodes. In this first exercise, we have already deployed on 20 plus locations, and now we are in process of developing these data sets. These data are also available from Aeronet website, the link which we have provided here. So if anybody is interested, we can actually provide this data. And these clarity data are calibrated data. So these are not raw data, but we do calibrate using multiple methods developed by our group as well as the clarity group to have more accurate data sets within certain uncertainties. So this is something exciting. It's not yet kind of ready for prime time, but it's coming. Okay, now let's get to the forecasting. The forecasting work was done under a project called Health and Air Quality Applied Science Team, which is NASA's flag science team for health and air quality application. We have been working this on last 4 years, and we continue to expand. Actually, the next cycle of HACAST project, which was announced earlier this year, actually is going to focus in some of the African countries. So we are really excited to connect with all of you to see if we can collaborate on those that project further. But this previous cycle project was focused on U.S. embassy, U.S. mission locations. So as many of you know, U.S. Department of State used to monitor air quality from their 80 plus location, which the program has been shut down more recently. But we use that data sets combined with this GIOS FP, which I introduced earlier, and use the machine learning algorithm to provide localized, downscaled PM 2.5 forecast for every 3 hour interval for next 72 hours or next 3 days. So this is the forecast which is right now available operationally, and we have expanded. Initially, we started forecasting only at the US Embassy location, but more recently, we have expanded this forecast on all of the sites where OpenAQ data are available. And then another layer we have added is all the sites where Aeronet stations are available. So I'm sure if you are trying to deploy something census in location in Africa, you should be able to find forecast from nearby either Aeronet station or OpenAQ datasets or US Embassy location. In addition, if you feel that you need a specific forecast just for your location, we can make that also available based on how everything goes. But this is the datasets which is available for everyone to use. We do have some web applications. Initially, it was available in the Zapier Unfortunately, that is not anymore available, but we have developed our own web app, which is can be accessed using this link over here, and that can actually visualize the air quality forecast for the next 3 days, and you should be able to get it. We'll show you how that looks like. Uh, Here are some more details in terms of how you can access the data quality. Again, June has just published a paper in one of the AGU journal, which actually discussed the methodology, results, and validation and uncertainties in this forecast. So we'll be happy to share that paper with anyone who is interested in more details. Again, we have two ways in which the data can be shared. One is this web app, and the second one is the API, where you can access the data over given a specific station or a specific date. And that is also available in public domain. So both of these resources are available for anyone to use. And with that, again, this is another view of that website which I was showing earlier. So you can actually select the date, model initialization when the forecast was run, and this then you can select any days for the next 3 days and specific time to display the data. This specifically shows the AQI values, and these AQI values are scaled as per US Environmental Protection Agency's guideline, or the scales conversion from PM2.5 to AQI is based on US EPA. I know they can be different in different countries. So if you are looking for a specific AQI value in your own country based on your own standard, then you will have to redo the calculation. But these are based on the US EPA calculations. This is a little bit more on that, what each field shows. This is, we can share this slide later on, basically kind of an explanation of each of those things. If you click on the any station, you will see the forecast for the next 3 days. And I think that's all I have here. I'm sure there are a lot of questions we can actually take and see if people have question, and we can take, and June and I can try to answer them.
Great. Thanks so much, Pawan, and June. This is fantastic. I'm going to have a couple questions and also give you all, you and June, some a broad overview of the awardees, and then we'll open up to awardee questions. I think the first question though is just I've already gotten some requests for your slide deck. Would that be possible to share with us after the presentation?
Yes, we can
Great.
share.
Great, and that'll share some links. Um, and then the other item before we get into the questions, I just want to share for your and June's reference, and maybe for awardees who haven't seen this yet, just to give you a sense of our geographic spread of where they're doing work. Um, this is where each of each of the purple areas in general is a priority of the Epic Air Quality Fund. Dark purple, though, is where we have where there are awardees currently operating, and then the dots indicate sort of the organizational base. That does not represent, for example, the number of sensors. It's more than that, and it's in other locations, but it gives you a broad sense for where folks are operating. And so, two questions before we open it up to everyone. Um, I guess one, you had mentioned that like we can perhaps collate a list of if there's any awardees who are interested in particular locations that aren't currently covered in your system. You all would have interest in potentially developing forecasts for those places. Did I understand that right?
Yeah, so actually the site is working. If you want, I can quickly show the site, and I think that will help us to see the current
Yeah.
let me see. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so this is basically the website, right? If you, let's say, if I look at your map, based on that, you have a lot of lot of work going on in this area, right? So there are already existing sites. These are all US embassy missions. But if you click here, we have OpenAQ layer also. So if you turn on that, it will take a second to actually turn it on. And if I turn on the Aeronet also, then you will see in a few seconds that they will come up with a lot more station in this area. But while they are displaying, let me just quickly show you a couple of things here, just using one of these. So if you click, you basically get the next 3 years, next 3 days forecast for 24-hour mean. And again, everything is in US EPA AQI scales. You can also enable a satellite layer. So this allows you to actually see the um, weird satellite layer. So if I go to, let's say, yesterday, then I will be able to see the latest satellite image. And the advantage of doing this satellite image is actually it provides you a little bit bigger view of what's going on. For example, right now there is a dust storm which is progressing over Sahara and actually started moving over Atlantic oceans. There are some, if you look the over US, there are Canadian wildfire which are actually pumping a lot of smoke over US, and they are moving over Atlantic Ocean. So this additional layer actually provide additional perspective what is going on a specific location, but also be mindful about that not everything which satellite looks is on the surface. It can be very up. For example, in this case, you can see the air quality is going down, but it is not going down as the smoke plume look so much thick from the satellite. It means this smoke is actually well above the boundary layer and it's not reaching surface as much as it shows in the satellite picture. So it just kind of give you some perspective or another tool to verify what's going on at the ground.